Welcome back to the Try Swim Coach podcast. I'm your host, Coach Dominic Latella, here to help you master the water, conquer your fears, and crush your swim times. With over 22 years of coaching experience and thousands of athletes trained, I bring you the tips, the techniques, and the insights you need to swim smarter, not harder. So whether you're training for your next triathlon or just trying to level up your swim game, you're in the right place. Don't forget to check out the tryswimcoach.com for courses, memberships, and exclusive coaching content and dates for our upcoming swim camps. All right, let's jump in. All right, welcome back to the Try Swim Coach podcast. This podcast is going to be a bit different. It probably will be different moving forward. I love doing interviews with people. It's really interesting to talk to different people and learn, how their view of the triathlon sport or life is and what we can gain from that. But I'd like to spend more time talking to my expert coaches that I work with and also sharing my knowledge about swimming. And so we're going to talk to one of the best coaches that I know
No,
and my wife,
no.
Coach Alyssa.
Well, hello. So flattered. So much compliments.
I'm biased. I'm okay with saying that, but I've seen what you can do and I know what you can do and you do a great job. So, one of the things I think is really important for this podcast or what we do is to be honest, transparent. And I was really burnt out on podcasts in general for like the last 4 going on now 5 years, where it's just like I was that tired of hearing the same stuff, the same conversations and the same interview questions. And so taking up the podcast with Try Swim Coach, I was a little apprehensive and I wasn't sure if I wanted to do it, if it was a thing that was right for me. But I did decide ultimately that it would be right. And I'm just now coming around to the point or the fact that maybe I need to do this in my own way. And so what I like to do, so I just know that I can talk to you about anything. And we have Coach Ryan also that, he'll be on the podcast, talk about swimming stuff and strength and conditioning stuff as well.
Mhm.
And so, between the three of us, we have a lot to share. I'm really excited to share it with people. So I'm trying to also recover from our Pilates workout this morning.
That was a good one.
It
That was a good
really,
one.
it
Nice.
was. It really demonstrated to me the concept that you get better at Pilates, but Pilates gets harder as you get better.
It gets so much harder.
Because I feel like I crushed that workout for myself,
You totally did.
but it wasn't like I did the workout perfectly based off of the instruction. So, I'm trying to recover from that. My core's feeling it for sure.
Maybe 32 minutes was a little bit long.
It was enjoyable.
It was enjoyable, though.
Suffering is enjoyable afterward.
I oddly will watch the videos before we do them sometimes, and they look ridiculously difficult. And I'm like, doesn't this look fun? Doesn't this look fun? And you go, sure. Am I going to watch you do it?
One of the
But it's so good for body awareness. I really can't even.
every time we do Pilates,
I feel something new. It's harder.
I always can connect what I'm doing in Pilates to swimming as well, where it's like
Literally everything, actually.
so much.
Even
And
standing moves.
yeah, I can connect things to my running and swimming as well. It's just not as obvious, right?
I can't connect anything to running. Can I walk? Yes. Can I run? We've seen it. It's not. I have the ability to move my legs faster than a walk. Is it a run? No. Absolutely not. What are those muscles? They don't work on me. They absolutely don't work on me. It makes no sense to me actually in running. But I don't understand how to hold my body. I don't understand movements. I don't understand my stride, my gait. I can say words that make it seem like I may understand. But that would be really interesting for me if I could take it and put it into that avenue.
I wonder if doing as much Pilates as you've been doing recently over the last, couple of years, if it would help your running.
I mean, on paper, in theory, it 100% should. But it's strange to me because I feel like with running, I've just never mentally grasped. You know what? Actually, it is. I've never grasped the concept of like, why?
Why run?
Why swim? But why swim? Why Pilates? I don't know. I mean, like, why anything? It doesn't bring me any of that enjoyment. It's like, that's the one physical activity that like brings me no joy. And I've never been able to figure it out. It's so strange. I hate it. I don't breathe correctly. I know that.
Still like someone who's a runner trying to be a swimmer. Go on.
I know. And that's why it's funny because it's like, well, remember that article you showed me? I can't remember. About how it was like a scientific study, or maybe it was like a clinical study. It was something where it was going over the differences in cardiovascular systems and hearts of people who were runners versus swimmers, and how vastly different they make your heart work.
Yeah.
And so, of course, I don't understand, but I've also never tried to. Like, I'm very aware that, like, it frustrates me. Like, it's more of an annoyance where it's, like, fun to try to find my muscle engagements and different positioning and technique and stuff in Pilates and swimming. My brain, I don't know, probably not. Has it ever been like, hey, let's go over to this box labeled running, very dusty in the corner of your brain? Because I've never opened it to try to think through in terms of movement in the way that I think with Pilates and swimming. Because I also do think about it in terms of walking.
While you're walking.
No.
Okay.
Only.
While you're Pilating.
Actually, that's a very low grade one because I really only do that for my adult learn to swim clients in terms of explaining levels of effort in the water.
Sure.
I'll compare that.
Yeah.
It's another C word to walking a lot. But running, I really don't know.
So,
but I hate it.
It makes me think that I don't mean this in a negative way.
I'm sure it's negative. I shouldn't be like, oh,
it makes me feel like you grew up vastly different than I did.
What do you mean by that?
Running was a mode of transportation for me from like as far back as I could remember.
You wake up, you go, I want a
like,
Slurpee, and you bolt to 7-Eleven.
Yeah.
And you bolt back.
Yeah.
You bolted with a Slurpee?
Well,
You're jiggling. You're running.
Was fortunate
We're dribbling that Slurpee. You're spinning.
Well, eat the Slurpee, you walk back for sure.
Thank you.
When you finish the Slurpee, you run.
I just imagine you running like Phoebe from Friends through like when she's got her arms up. Then you're definitely
I was fortunate enough to have two older brothers who learned how to ride a bike many years before I did.
Did they really? They're not that much older than you.
No, but I'm the last child.
Children learn to ride bikes late.
So
I'm the last.
My parents were like, they'll figure it out.
Yeah, totally.
But if my brothers were going somewhere, then I wanted to also go. That means my little ass was running behind them. And so I ran everywhere I went. I did that all the way through high school. Just because high school, friends pick me up and give me ride places and things like. But it was already built into like my way of getting around was walking and running everywhere.
But you just gleamed over something.
What's that?
In high school, what sport did you do?
I swam.
And?
Cross country.
Oh. We just happened.
Cross country. It was a natural thing for me because I was already running everywhere.
Okay.
It was actually quite funny because all the cross country like courses locally were the same trails that I was running to get places, like to cut through woods and things. So I was like, this is very familiar.
I'm just trying to think, like, you also grew up in somewhere in Georgia.
Insert, what is the word? Grow up?
South of Atlanta in Georgia. I grew up in right outside of Vienna in Northern Virginia. I needed a car. Or I mean, like, there's
Sure.
nowhere I can bolt around.
That's my point.
Like
We
they're
grew up very
right
differently.
there you say like the trails. I'm like the W-O-N-D. Wait, is that even right? W and O?
Taylor.
Oh my gosh, I've lived here forever. And yes, I've
So-
used the metro less than the amount of fingers I have. Don't know things in DC. Not sorry.
So you proved my point. We grew up vastly different.
Was
I
it
think part of why I enjoy running is how I grew up.
okay?
And obviously it's part of my personality too, so like, being active and being in motion.
I love being
Uh,
active.
Of course you do. But you do it in a very different way. You did it in a very organized, structured way as a kid, right? You swam from age 6.
Right.
For me, it was mostly just running through the woods like a wild child with my friends.
Where did you
Vastly different.
Okay, so for me, putting it in those terms, yes. I know that I started swimming when I was 6. It had no reason. There was no reason about the fact that the pool was visible from my dining room across the street. That had nothing to do with the fact as to why I joined the swim team. We'd lived there. I was 6. I never moved when I was a kid. I'd lived there for 6 years. We weren't members of the pool. My friend Stephanie,
Mhm.
who I went to church with, don't know why I'm adding that.
Shout out to Stephanie.
Shout out to Stephanie. She's somewhere. She joined the swim team, and so I joined the swim team.
How it goes.
And that was it. And then, like, that was my entry to that world.
Mhm.
And it's interesting because she stopped. Like, next year, she did not continue swimming,
Swimming's not for everyone.
right? Which I get. But then, like, from her giving me that opportunity to try something, I continued. I loved
Right.
it. I
Right.
swam in the summer. So when can I do more? I swam in the winter. So, like, it was
The
a
winning
kid
move.
thing.
What did you love about it?
I really liked when I was an example. I got to be an example a lot. And I really but I didn't really fully understand it until later. And so, like, at that point, it was just, oh, the coach is paying attention to me and we're like playing. This is fun. But then later I'd be like, oh, like I liked working to be the example. It's not like I always was, but
Oh.
for like, for an example, for this example, how many times can I say example? It wasn't like, oh, I joined the swim team, I'm 6, I'm the example. It was, and by that I mean like the demonstration that you would show someone else to get across the point that the coach wants.
The-
This is the action I'm looking
This
for.
6-year-old child is doing it. Why can't you?
Right. And so it was like I saw other people be the demonstrations, be the example, and it was like, oh, that kid got picked twice. I wonder if I could get picked once. Can I get better? And it was fun for me to work on getting better, but not to win at that point. I guess, like, low key, that's just attention, but it was something that, like, I worked towards. I didn't understand it first, and then I worked to understand it physically and mentally. And then it was like, that was the reward. Like, my coach was like, saw that I put in the work, saw that I made progress, and acknowledged me for it. That was basically it. Positive
Basically,
reinforcements.
I mean, I'm going to not change subjects, but I'm going to change course of the conversation. This is a new segment in the podcast.
Ooh,
We're calling it Mindset Minute.
Yeah.
I think the
like
mindset
it.
that you brought is a mindset that a lot of adults working on their swimming, trying to improve their swimming or learn swimming, don't bring to the table. They bring to the table a mindset of, I'm already accomplished in other things, so this I should also be accomplished in. They don't bring with them a mindset of curiosity or playfulness
or openness.
or a mindset of willingness to, like, I don't know how you said it just a second ago. So if I say it wrong, correct me, please.
Okay.
But something to the effect of, like, you were working toward wanting to be that example, right?
I enjoyed the work of working towards it.
Right. So I'm going to, in my mind,
Does that make sense?
yes. And in my mind, what that means to me is you enjoyed sort of not the breaking down of the swimming strokes and skills, but learning the skills in order to take strokes properly, right? Doing the drill work, doing the work that you need to be curious about and you understand, well, if I pick my head up this much when I swim freestyle, I can feel my hips drop this much,
Yeah.
right? Being curious about those things isn't intuitive or instinctual to people.
Which I
A
do
lot of- yeah.
understand, but maybe no, but I do understand that. And I think conceptually, people understand when they don't have it after you've explained it, right?
They have to want to have that mind.
You have, well, yeah,
That we haven't heard before. It's a growth mindset. But as adults, we do come to new learning opportunities.
completely differently than kids,
Yeah,
completely differently.
right.
My favorite thing to tell my adult learner swim clients is kids are dumber than you. And I don't mean it like kids are dumb. I mean, their brains haven't developed as much as yours. They don't know to be cautious about certain things because they haven't learned yet. And there's more of a freedom to try things,
Curiosity.
curiosity to see what will happen. But I really do mean like you've gone through things that have made you realize you do need to be cautious. And I understand that, and that's smart, and that's part of I like to always say that it's part of your like fight or flight instinct because you're gonna, right? Your subconscious will put in things to save you, quote unquote, when you're an adult, when in the back of your brain, it's like, well, something might not be the best here.
Yeah.
Right? And I feel like kids just don't have that. That's why like there are kids who I've asked them to jump off a cliff. They're already falling, yelling, "What's next?" Right? They didn't think through jumping off the cliff. That's why they jumped off the cliff. And I get that with life experiences and your brain changing and all of that and working on yourself, caution is a smart thing, but it's sort of practiced caution, I guess.
To me, we're
I'm not saying don't be
moving away
safe.
from the point. We're moving away from the point.
You know
Point
that
wasn't
is
cautious. The
so
point
what I'm
isn't
good
to-
at.
The point is be curious and be playful in your other accomplishments in your adult life, in your entire life that you have. Don't mean shit. They don't mean anything. It doesn't matter that you could run a marathon in under 4 hours. It doesn't matter.
It's cool.
So don't bring that with you to the pool. Bring it with you to the pool.
The knowledge behind it.
I don't know how to swim. I need to work on my swimming isn't achieved over, we'll say, doing a mile straight and getting out of the water. That's not how you achieve good swimming. That's how you increase your endurance.
Mm-hmm.
But
Cardio
good
helps.
swimming is a thoughtful, mindful process.
It's so much mental work. That's one of the things that I like to talk about in my lessons. I'm like, okay, after we'll do a drill and work through maybe a new movement, we're working on fixing an injury, which also would be a new movement. I'll ask my clients after a couple of rounds, do you think that was more physical work or more mental work to think through what you're doing? Remember to pay attention and continue that as you go down the pool. And don't get me wrong, the only reason I can ask that is because I have many a memory of jumping in the pool at 3:45 in the morning, doing my warm-up, and then, oh, well, I'm just swimming, and I've all of a sudden realized I forgot underwear, and what jeans did I pack to wear to school? Great, that's going to be really uncomfortable. What is this turn? Crap. I have no idea where I am. Bring it back. Did you just breathe in the flags? Did you breathe the first stroke off the wall? I have no idea. I wasn't paying attention. See? Your brain wanders when you're in the pool. And I'm saying I like to like bring awareness to the fact that like that might not have been difficult physically, but it was difficult to remember to do it. Oh, that's the work that I'm doing here? It's my brain? And it's a very simple concept to me. There's no oxygen under there in the underwaters. It's harder to think.
There's no oxygen for
Okay, I'm sorry. If you're not a fish, if you don't have gills, There's no oxygen for you under there. And so it's so mental.
I don't want to pick on runners. I think it's the same thing for people who swam as children, took, 20, 30, 40 years off and come back to swimming as a form of exercise, which is amazing to see and great to see.
Mm-hmm.
But they also should be having a curious, playful mindset. Things have changed. Things will always be changing. And, I know you might not deal with this as much as I do, but you might. I have no idea, actually. Having to combat sort of bad concepts from the yesteryears, from the past,
Nah.
that don't jive with swimming concepts of today, and then butting heads with somebody and trying to explain why we wouldn't do X, Y, or Z from the past, and this is why we're doing A, B, and C now.
Right.
If they don't come to us as coaches with this type of open-mindedness, why are you coming to us? But we get it all the time.
Yeah.
It's almost like people come to us for us to tell them, you're right,
Yeah, there are people like that.
right? I don't think I'm ever 100% right, especially when it comes to,
No, I'm not.
I think there's a lot of experimenting that has to go on because it is sort of the science of N. It's individually based.
Yeah,
And
every
any
human.
program that claims that one size fits all or move like this and you will swim like a champion is full
No.
of shit. Right? That's not how swimming works. That's not how humans work in general. We
Mhm.
have general concepts about what we know works best, but that doesn't mean it's going to work best for that individual.
All of our
so-
bodies are built differently. You can't do a one size fit. You buy a one size fits all sweatshirt. Who out there only
I'm sure
buys
there's some. I'm sure.
only buys one size fits all? Only?
some.
That would be impressive. But you know that it doesn't. No one is symmetrical. No one is built the same. Maybe you both stubbed your left toe on the same day. That still doesn't mean that it had the same effect on you as it did the other person.
Best people being born at the same exact time, right? At newborn babies, that is the closest that you will get to being similar or the same to somebody else. But as every second goes by, and every minute goes by, and every day and week and month and year, your body is changing to your needs specific.
Mm-hmm.
And those limitations are beneficial to your life, but do change the way that you do things athletically. Keeping that in mind, there isn't a silver bullet for
Mhm.
for swimming or a specific athletic pursuit.
There's no
There's
magic
general
pill.
concepts that we have to understand how they apply to the individuals, and that's why you have to be curious. You can't just go online and look at a YouTube video and go,
I'll
they
mimic
say
that.
do that. So that's what I'll do. Well, you have to experiment, and I would recommend someone on deck to help you understand if you are actually doing the movement that you thought you were doing. Right? It's like two different things.
Yeah, and that's one reason why I loved getting into Pilates so much. It's helped my body awareness tremendously, but there's so much you don't know. There's so much that you'll never know. Like, I still need mirrors so that I can watch certain things. Or when I film things, like, oh, I've gotten better at that side. That side's worse. I thought it was the opposite. It's fascinating. And I feel like it does also have, like, for people working on these things as adults, there are so many experiences you've gone through growing up that add to how you will feel and act doing this new one. It doesn't have to have been sports related, right? And I feel like that's like one of the biggest concepts. It's like, let's just dig around in there and see what other things in your brain, digging around in your brain.
Not in your quad.
I don't know what I would find in there. I don't know where we got there, but I'm digging around, trying to figure out everything affects you. So the same thing, everything affects your body. Same way, different things affect your mind differently, different people. But I mean, like, going back to you getting into swimming because you started running first. When you went into cross country, was it just because you had fun running and you decided to do a sport? and then you liked it? Like, how did you even, how did that happen?
Basically, in PE, my freshman year, we had to run a mile. That's a very common thing.
Uh-huh.
The first day you do a mile, and you're supposed to do a mile on the last day of your class, and it's supposed to be faster than what you with. So most of the people in the class did what you should do. They sandbagged. They walked the entire mile, so no matter what, they do well. Well, I decided not to. I don't remember how fast the mile was. It wasn't like
You said
record breaking or anything.
going to the Olympics.
It's enough that it caught the eye of the track and field coach and the basketball coach and the cross country coach and the football coach. Because they're like, who's this kid? And why is he faster than all of our other athletes? Point, I'd already decided it was too much for me to do both. Swimming's my thing. I kept pushing these coaches away through high school. And I actually decided I wasn't going to swim in college my junior year of high school. College, not something.
But you were
Fast forward, I ended up swimming in college, but I decided because I wasn't going to swim in college, I know I'll split my time. I'll do cross country and swimming at the same time. And what I learned from that experience is thank God I didn't do that for all 4 years because there's no way I would have lasted.
How long did you do that?
For the 1 year.
You did it 1 year and then you quit cross country.
School, cross country in college. I did.
Oh, you only did this your senior year of high school?
But I still.
No, I know. I had thought it was much earlier.
I did toy with the idea of running in cross country in college as well as swimming in college. Been way too much, right? I learned from my experience. It was overtraining for sure, because I think I took 2 weeks off for swimming. I don't know, around the end of the cross country season, I dropped like 5 minutes in my 5K.
Oh, wow.
It was just because I was so chained. I wasn't eating well. I wasn't eating enough calories for sure. But I didn't have any of that knowledge, nor did my coaches really help me figure that out. They just wanted me to keep training. It was a great experience and I enjoyed it quite a bit. But from that experience, I definitely learned if I'm doing that much working, which at that time was probably more than 15 hours a week because I was already swimming about 15 hours a week at that point.
In high school?
Yeah. I was probably up to like 20 hours, 25 hours of training a week, not few. And then when I tapered off and really my taper was don't swim for 2 weeks, my times dropped significantly in my cross country. Like, where the fuck did that come from?
But was it when you said that, like, I don't remember your exact wording, but you said you were so glad you only did it that 1 year and it was too much and you couldn't do it. Is it, and this might be unfair because of how old we are currently, very far from high school, so you might not remember, but was it that you couldn't handle wanting to give both of them your all physically and mentally? And then we're a kid and we're in school, so like we've got that shit there too. Or was it that physically you didn't have you couldn't have the output that you wanted in both? Do you hear that rain, by the way? It is like downpouring.
I'm prone to injury.
Okay.
If someone will say, the normal base of training is like around 8 to 9 hours a week.
Okay.
That's anything past like 8 or 9 hours for me is when I start to hurt myself.
But did you know that in high school?
I recognized in high school that I was getting injured more easily than counterparts.
Oh, something.
I recognize that maybe either I'm giving too much in my workouts or, in hindsight, I know my nutrition was terrible back then. Could have been
Who's 17 right now and can go, I have good nutrition.
buddy, but
Right.
I can see that if I would have had better nutrition, I would have probably not been so injury prone. But I did carry through college where I was more mindful about nutrition, but I could have been even more mindful. I would I recognize that I didn't have the bandwidth for that much training.
physically.
And yes, my personality is very competitive. Don't like to split my attention. This is also why I personally don't find appropriate for coaches to also be training and competing.
Wait, what?
If a coach
Yeah.
trains and also competes at the same time that they have athletes that they're coaching, I don't find that appropriate. I know that people can do it, but
Oh,
I also do know that it takes away from the coaches.
they're coaching their
There's only
athletes,
so much bandwidth.
but they're also training themselves.
If I'm going to train, I'm a coach, I'm going to compete, and I go to a race, I have athletes that are in that race. Who do I care about? My athlete.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's going to be me. Pro tip, be selfish. You should be more concerned about you. That's why I don't do that. So that way, all my attention is on my athletes.
I
Because
never thought about
they're
that.
the ones that matter. I enjoy training. I don't need to compete anymore. I did that through college. So for me, it is about the athletes.
No, I never thought of that before. It's just an interesting perspective. Of course,
I know
you
that
don't
about
have.
me. That's why. Right. I know that for sure about me. I am a very intense competitive person. So there is no like, oh, you should go do something for fun. It doesn't exist in me.
And to answer the question, you couldn't physically handle the work in high school. That's what you said, right? Okay. I don't actually like so that question is so fascinating to me because there are so many kids who do multiple sports and like play an instrument nowadays.
Cool.
Right? I played the violin. I did a sport, but I just like wish I could. I wish I could understand how they can split
Something's giving
so
someone.
well. Like it's like to me, I would always be thinking about like this one a little. Like I feel like that's, but like I know myself. I understand that that's how I work. Um, I don't. I'm just like never. I feel like for me, it's more mentally. I don't. I wouldn't be able to like keep all of that correct in my brain. Like I have. Everyone always said that I was so graceful in the pool, but like I'll run into door frames. Okay, like in my own house, they don't move. I hit them every day.
This isn't like one. Everyone runs into a door frame.
No, every
you-
day. At home, at work, they're all the same door frames.
Bumpers on door frames.
No, I don't hit them the same way every day. I'll just turn a corner incorrectly. I'm not kidding. But so when I tried once in high school, I literally was going to take a break from swimming and play lacrosse. I had so I had my friend Shayna teach me how to, let's see if I can get this. I could stand and cradle the ball. And I can't remember if that's when you're moving it back and forth. I do remember the rule that you can't just run across the field holding the ball in the net in the stick. And I was like, what? I have to move it when I'm running. Okay, so I have to run, 1. 2, I'm holding this stick. And I know that that doesn't sound like effort, but to me, holding the stick was difficult. Then 3, while I'm running and holding said stick, I have to, in like a rotation movement with my hands, move the net with the ball in it across my chest.
Oh.
I think it's called cradling.
I did not grow up around lacrosse. I only met people who played lacrosse when I moved to this general area of the
I have one memory. One memory I'm going off of. We were in her backyard. I remember. I could do those things. I could cradle it standing. You want me to do all 3 of those things and run? And then that's not even it. If I have the ball while I'm running, that means I have to pass it or try to shoot it. Is that a joke? Did we forget I'm also inhaling and exhaling? That's 4. I'm living. This is difficult. That's so many things for my uncoordinated, clunky body to understand.
Clunky body.
It feels clunky when I do things like that on land.
I would not describe your body as clunky.
That's how it feels, though. Like I'm disoriented. I don't understand. And so,
I would
like,
describe your body as wispy.
okay, all right. But it just didn't like, it was more mentally difficult for me to try to understand and then put the, like, okay, not only do I have to practice and learn this, I have to practice and learn this and then practice, hope I learned it, and then try out You're
Just
right.
gave me a thought. Think about this.
So for me, it was the mental work. I couldn't handle it. And so I did that one thing with her, and then I went right back to swimming.
But you started lacrosse well after you'd been swimming.
It was my junior year of high school.
So
It was
well
like,
after.
I
You'd
was
been
like,
swimming
this
a
would be
bit
your
longer.
last chance if you wanted to try a different sport. Because in my brain, well, you don't quote unquote try a sport in college, right?
Mhm.
Like that's not
No,
how
you
it
don't
works.
try sports in college.
It's not how it works. So I'm still
Not
in high
unless you do
school.
a club sport.
I got to this year because if I get to my senior year, like you're not going to do it. I just knew my brain.
So, kind of a rhetorical question.
Yeah.
You might be able to answer it. I don't know.
Okay.
But because you already had so much experience with swimming at that point, and you had been very successful in a swim career at that point,
Mhm.
do you think, because you already were good at something like swimming, learning a new sport, you were less curious about learning that sport? Or you were so good at swimming that maybe you got frustrated because you weren't just as good at lacrosse as you were at swimming?
You're not going to like my answer.
I have no,
It's not a good answer.
just whatever answer you have, if you even have
I
an
have
answer,
an answer.
give me an answer.
I know exactly why I did not want to play.
Which is?
It's just, in my opinion, it's my answer. I find my answer stupid. Okay? But the reason why I couldn't actually do it was because at a point when I was practicing, I realized that people watch you. And then I thought, people watch me swim. So what?
Mm.
Well, guess what? When I'm swimming,
What?
I got no fucking clue,
Yeah.
bitch, that you're even looking at me.
And they're pretty
And
far
you're
away.
probably not.
Yeah.
And you can
And
barely see me.
how long are you really looking
And
at
how
me?
long did you look at me before you looked down at something else? You sneezed, you took a bite of your protein bar, and then my race was over.
Exactly. Right. It's
That's
just
fine. But it wasn't, it was just the fact that, like, I
There was an
couldn't
audience.
see people watching me swim.
Mm.
Whereas with that, with lacrosse, I would have been able to see you see me.
Mhm.
And like, if I'd made eye contact with like someone seeing me, that's what would have made me forget how to do anything.
Interested. Is this a response or
I mean,
it's a
in-
legitimate
In
answer,
hindsight, it's
right?
like, that's why you didn't do it, because you realized that you could see the people seeing you.
I'm sure
And that
there's
messed
more
with me
to it.
mentally,
I'm sure there's more to it.
right? That messed with me mentally. Like,
Yeah.
it was like thinking about how, I mean, that was over 20 years ago, right? So thinking about how much more I know about my actual body and how it moves now. I still don't actually know if I could do that sport.
It'd probably be harder for you to learn at this point.
It's weird to me because I can weirdly, but also like this is just like you were saying, like I learned swimming when I was 6. So I have no association with the fact that there's no air in there. It's easier for me to play and move around with my body in a pool than it is on the ground. I don't understand my body as well in those movements
Mhm.
and those muscle engagements in terms of like power output. I don't get it.
Mhm.
I understand it on paper, but for myself, I haven't put myself in a position to try to even learn about it. Pilates, which came from me begrudgingly trying yoga.
Mhm.
I'm sorry, trying to like and understand yoga.
Mhm.
I don't know. It's like I understand output better,
In
right?
water.
In water. And so the Pilates on land to me only makes that make more sense
It's
to
tension.
my brain.
Yeah.
Right. Because I realized I didn't actually understand power output when I was swimming.
Right.
Right. I thought I did, but I did not. And like now I know movements that I teach people to do, I could not do. And I wasn't doing, but I was thinking I was doing them.
Hence, you need a coach.
Right.
Right.
So it's fascinating.
Yeah.
And I really do wish that, because this is impossible, I wish that I could understand what it's like to come in to swim box and have someone do that, like look at you, see exactly what you're doing, pinpoint the incorrect movements, make them correct, and actually understand your power output. Like, I really wish I could have had the opportunity to do that when I was younger
Yeah.
and I was competing.
Mm-hmm.
I just think my brain would be more developed now and understand concepts better, right? But I mean, of course, that's logical. So it's just so cool that we have the opportunity to do that for people. That's one of the things that I really, really love. It's like, you could bring anything in or ask us anything. It's like, even if I say I don't know, I'll work to figure it out.
Yeah.
And that's so much fun. You have to work with me, though.
But that's exactly the same exact mindset we were talking about in the mindset minute. You're going to figure it out.
Right.
So why didn't you have that mindset for lacrosse, right? That's what I'm asking you. And also, I was thinking about it as you were talking. I started swimming because one of my brothers swam because he liked a girl that was on the swim team. And I just wanted to demonstrate to him how superior at athletics I was.
Because he was your brother.
Because he was my brother.
Yeah.
I was better at running. So I needed to show him that I was better at swimming too. And then I recognized that swimming was the challenge. It was hard.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't just naturally good at it. It challenged me to be better. And that is my personality for sure. When I find something difficult, I lean harder into it, which is detrimental to me sometimes. I failed because of that sometimes. But it definitely was the motivation for my swimming. The motivation for my swimming was I found it hard and challenging, and I wanted it to be better. So
you enjoyed the work that you put into it.
Just like Pilates, the better I got at swimming, the harder it became.
Right.
Where I do recognize that I get confronted by clients and swimmers and athletes sometimes that don't like that swimming is a challenge or a puzzle to be solved. They just want to get in the water and swim. Like they're just going to put a pair of running shoes on and hit the road. But that isn't swimming.
Yeah.
It can be a portion of your swimming some of the time, but also some of the time you have to consider what you're doing. And you have to break down those movements and understand those movements and understand the thoughts and the feelings and sensations that you're having about those movements. That's why I love swimming. It is infinitely complicated, and it has kept me engaged for I'm doing math now for 30 years. That's what I want to leave this episode with. I want to encourage anyone who's listening to this episode to not try to be, as good at swimming as you are at another sport, but just approach it like you're playing. Just approach it with, what are the puzzle pieces and how do they fit?
I think it's a good way to also think about it. Like, I'm sure everyone's been in a conversation where someone goes, "Oh, hey, do you know the square root of 57.6?" And in your head, you're repeating. And out loud, you go, exactly. Yeah.
Nope.
And then the conversation continues and you have absolutely no idea what that person is talking about. And then you're at a crossroads. Do you tell them or do you continue? Right? It's so much easier being like, no, I don't know what the square root of whatever number that is I just said.
6.2, whatever.
Right? And then you open yourself to being able to understand how that person does know it. So I guess you need to have some humility.
That's what it comes down to. But I mean, that's a part of it.
Being open. It's just being open.
It is.
And we don't know everything. We don't think we know everything. I make mistakes all the time.
Make mistakes.
That's how you learn.
Well, it's not just that. Like, I've been swimming for 30 years. I miss walls when I do flip turns still.
Yeah.
It happens. I hit the wall at least 80% of the time. I really believe in the 80-20 rule when it comes to swimming.
Well, yeah. And the amount of times water goes up my nose now that I didn't mean for it to, and I don't know why it happens. I just know that will always happen.
I did that to myself once.
You're not paying attention. Something happened. I don't know. Whoops, I breathed.
But I know why. I was in the middle of talking as I decided I was also going to go into the water at the same time, and I got a nice whiff of water. It was great. It was very it was a great reminder of shut up and swim.
Also, a good reminder that it's always mental. There's never not a mental component to this.
All right. So I'm gonna wrap this up. Let's be done. So unless you have more to say, do you have more to say?
That's a hard thing to follow when you just start the sentence like that. So no, I have nothing else to say. I don't know.
What,
I could
what,
sit here and
what
ramble.
would you like to leave this episode saying? Last words. You get the last words. Go. Okay, no. I'll take till
Oh, my eyes just got so big. I could think of nothing. I thought of bah humbug, but that's not good.
Okay. So last words.
Live in curiosity.
Swim in curiosity.
Oh, cute, 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 cute.